Sometimes, you land in a country and think you're just passing through. But then a moment happens. A smile, a forgotten card, a handmade cloth. And suddenly, you're not just visiting, you're listening. To the quiet heartbeat of a nation. To its markets, its language, its rivers, and its laughter. Eswatini wasn't part of a grand plan, but it became a memory stitched into my soul. This is not just a travel vlog, it's a story about forgetting your bank card and finding humanity instead. I arrived with enthusiasm but no access to my funds. I had forgotten my bank card. It sounds trivial, even laughable, but in a foreign land where every cent matters, that piece of plastic is a lifeline. I stood there, unsure of my next move. But a stranger beside me smiled. No hesitation. "Let me help," he said. And just like that, the journey shifted. It wasn't about sightseeing anymore. It was about human currency, generosity, trust, presence. It's funny how a small mistake can become a doorway. Because of that one moment, I talked to vendors I would have walked past. I watched people not with a lens of tourism, but through the need for help, and the hope that someone would respond. And they did. Eswatini responded. With warmth. With grace. With eyes that didn't ask questions, only answered them. Their money looks unfamiliar. Notes of hundreds and fives that feel oddly light in my hand. The South African rand is accepted too, fluid across borders. But here, cash isn't just for transactions. It's conversation. It's trust between buyer and seller. A silent handshake. In this part of the world, airtime is a form of currency too. You top up your phone, not for TikTok or YouTube, but for connection, for family, for survival. Yet even this simple act wasn't simple for me. Different networks, different rules. A stranger helped again. Another thank you that didn't feel like enough. Because sometimes, your voice depends on someone else's kindness. I watched women walk with grace in bright red, deep blues, orange wraps tight at the waist. Their fabric wasn't just clothing, it was memory, heritage, status. A flag wrapped around the body, woven with ancestors' stories. I touched the cloth, asked about its meaning, learned that colors spoke louder than words. She laughed when I pointed at the orange. "Not for you," she teased. "Try red." Red, the color of strength and initiation. Of weddings, rituals, and pride. I wore it around my waist, like they did. Not to imitate, but to understand. For a brief moment, I felt like I was part of something much older than myself. I stood on a bridge above a river that whispered its own language. And below me, life moved. Buses, vendors, school kids, elders with folded arms. Behind me, a mall. In front of me, a marketplace. Eswatini exists in contrast, old and new, woven together like that cloth on the waist. The taxi rank buzzes like a heart. It's not just transport, it's theater. Arguments, laughter, deals made with eye contact alone. You don't need GPS here, just listen. The rhythm will take you where you need to go. I wandered into a second-hand corner, a place where memories are resold. Clothing, tools, and heirlooms from unknown families now waiting for new hands. Then came the handcraft market, and time slowed down. Every item spoke. A carved wooden spoon told me about a forgotten grandmother. A leather pouch whispered prayers from a past king. Then she showed me the butter churner, a handmade calabash with a hole drilled beneath. "We shake it until the milk separates," she explained, "and what comes out is truth." That stuck with me. Sometimes, you need to shake the world to see what remains. Drums of December. "Come back in December," they told me. "That's when the real celebration happens." Their eyes lit up. A ceremony of young maidens, a parade of color and song, a gathering of tribes. Not for tourists, for the people. A ritual that echoes beyond modernity, carrying the echoes of past kings, present hopes, and future vows. It wasn't about getting a wife despite the teasing. It was about belonging, about how dance can become scripture and rhythm, a map to who you truly are. A woman placed a handmade item in my palm. "For your mother," she said, without asking if I had one. In that moment, she became mine. I didn't correct her. I didn't need to. She offered me her number. Not to sell, but to connect, to invite me back. "You're my son now," she said. That's the thing about Eswatini. You don't need blood to be family. You just need presence, a willingness to sit, to learn, to listen. Every woman I met was more than a vendor. She was a teacher of patience, pride, and purpose. I bought a few things, not for souvenirs, but for safekeeping. A red cloth for strength, a carved item for memory, a bottle once used for milk, now filled with stories. None of these items came from factories. They came from hands, from heat, from heritage. It's easy to buy, harder to carry the meaning. But I tried. I still do. Every time I touch that cloth, I'm back there, in the market, under the sun, with voices calling out, "Brother, come here," and meaning it. They call it Eswatini now, the kingdom. A small land, but vast in spirit. It's not on every traveler's list. But maybe it should be. Because here, you don't just find what you were looking for. You find what you didn't know you needed. A forgotten name becomes a sacred one. Whispered through trees, carved in stone, sung by the river. I didn't plan to fall in love, but the land had other ideas. I left Eswatini with no cash withdrawn, but my pockets were full. Of cloth, of names, of shared bread and shared laughter. I left with a phone full of numbers. Not contacts, but connections. I left with silence that spoke louder than any playlist. And if you ever forget your bank card like I did, may you find what I did. A place where what you forget leads you to what you'll always remember.